You see us. Welcome to the Kenny Burns Show. This type of shit happens every day. I'm surrounded by rollers, even the shots, the individuals. Smoking, smoking mad Phillies, beating down Billy badasses, cracks and stacks and masses. If robbery's the class, then I pass it. Shit get drastic. I'm burying you bastards. Big Papa never softening. Take it to the church, rob the preacher for the offering. The fucker coughing up blood in his pockets like rabbit ears. Covered the wife Kleenex for the kids. Clark can't produce that. DJ Clark can't produce that. Just the way players play all day, every day.
Every day.
I've been robbing niggas since running them with singing, here we go. Slashing ropes out the Roxy homeboy. You didn't know? My brother produced that. DJ Clark Kent, welcome to the Kenny Burns Show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I'm proud of what you're doing with the platform and with the moments. And I have to say that since I met you, you've been on a systemic make me proud mission.
Oh man, thank you, brother. Thank you, Tony Rome, aka I'm not gonna go into all your governments, but one time for Panama. Put the Panamanian flag in the comments for my brother, Brooklyn's own, God's favorite DJ, and my big brother Clark. And how are you? How are you and the family?
We're blessed. We're highly favored. We're good to be alive, and we're going through a very interesting time, and as a family. So we're just trying to process and not lose our minds while we're at it.
Hey man, and this is why I created this platform, because I just feel like, you know, as people that people look up to and admire and follow and take our words very seriously. I think it's times like these where you can get to know your superheroes. I've had the pleasure of getting to know you for almost 30 years now.
For sure.
Which is wild as shit to say.
A little bit. It's a little bit. It's a little bit crazy.
Yeah, 92. So 2022 will be 30 years. Wow.
Yeah.
So with that, I want to take people on a journey.
Okay.
With DJ Clark Kent, aka Tony Rome, as I affectionately refer to him, Big Brother Almighty.
T.
So Clark, you know, I first, you know, you're from one of the best boroughs in the world.
No question.
You've affectionately carried Brooklyn on your back for 3 decades. And
sure.
I want to know what it was like. You know, New York, obviously the epicenter of music, fashion, culture in the 80s. You know, you became a teenager in the early 80s. How was that growing up in that awesomeness?
I think you might have hit it properly. It was awesome. We didn't feel like we were missing anything. We had each other. We had the block. We had real love amongst the people that you saw every day. And this culture that was brewing around us, that was crafting our lives. Hip hop was like literally on fire.
Crazy.
So it was all good. You know, of course.
So what was your introduction? What was your introduction to the game? How did DJ Clark Kent come to fruition?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to wear glasses. So the name comes from the fact that I wore glasses.
Now, hold on. I want to say this fun fact, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, you often give me credit for my sunglass game. Clark Kent was the first person to put me on to the shade game. Now, I might have went adventurous with my offering, but that man's frame game.
Back in the days, yeah.
Woo! Do I got a picture? No, I got a picture of you in some gazelle somewhere that is fucking.
Probably 951s.
You were murdering the 951s.
Yeah. Well, I had to see, so you know that's the way it was. But you know, the name came from being teased for wearing glasses, and then when I started I started DJ at 9. I just like let the name stand in front, and I let the work make fun of everybody for making fun of me. So, you know, I started DJing at 9. I was playing park jams at 11. I was playing clubs between 14 and 15. and then started traveling the world with Dana Dane as a DJ. Before that, I was DJing all over New York. Then I was on the radio, and then I made a record. And once I made the record, I got in the music business.
Yeah, I want people to go back. You said a hip hop hero. His name was Dana Dane.
Yeah,
And
yeah, definitely.
he had a vibe. And
Yeah.
people don't remember Dane was kind of fresh back in the day. Like, we're gonna get into that. Hold on. In the project that they call Fort Green, the lithium Fort Green, Brooklyn is his name. To make it interesting, it's me, Dana Dane. So Cinderfella comes out.
Yeah, actually, Nightmares was first. And
Nightmares on
hey. And I met him like right after, maybe like 2 months after his record came out. He came to perform at a talent show at Washington Urban High School. That's a high school my sister went to. And he asked me to drop the record. And when I dropped the record, he was like, yo, let's do some shows together. And damn near like the next week, we were at the rooftop performing for New Year's Eve or something like that. But after that, we were inseparable. We went on tours together. Every show after that point, it was us two.
And I wanted, I mean, you can't just throw rooftop in there like that's a little something. Like, you were at the epicenter. No, Tony, wrong. You were at the epicenter, bro. And like, as you said, things were kind of just happening around you. You were, your generation, you know, you had the Kool Hercs and the Godfathers, right? Mm-hmm. And then it was y'all. And y'all started, you know, because y'all were in the game.
I mean, but Kool Herc was my big homie when I was a little boy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they,
so
like
we
you
was
to
a
me.
part of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
For
so
sure,
what I'm saying, like, you saw them happening.
Yeah.
And I don't think they monetized it like you guys begin to monetize it. So you're going on tour with Dana Dane. Mm-hmm. You know, you're seeing the world. You're rocking parties. How was that 5-year period from like rocking neighborhood shit to 5 years later you've toured the world? You're at the rooftop. You're on fire.
It's funny because you don't realize it's happening. You're just trying to do more every day, and you're trying to do a better party the next time. You're trying to be in the better club right after that. So you're just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ever hear somebody say, yeah, I'm going to go make history, just write them off as a liar, because you can't make history. History happens. So
come on.
So with that, I was just doing it, and I was just trying to be hired, and I was just trying to be a better DJ, and I was just trying to make sure everybody understood that I was a good DJ so that I could get hired more and get hired into better clubs and, you know, do the better events and I guess position myself, but not necessarily just trying to be a better DJ all the time. And it worked over the periods of years that I was doing. So, you know, first you're playing at a little club around the corner from your house, and then somebody goes, hey, you know what? There's a better club 20 blocks from your house. You come down there and play that club. And then all of a sudden you're playing in the Bronx and in Queens and Manhattan and Staten Island and Jersey, and you're turning 18, 17, 18. So, you know, it's just...
Yo, Tony, I don't think people realize you all were in the game. Like, I was watching a special ed documentary, Another Brooklyn Night.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like 12 in the mix. Like, I didn't know he was fucking... So my thing is, y'all were hella young, getting in the game that changed history, redirected Black culture.
Well, the game was created by young guys. You know what I'm saying? It was created by youth, and we just happened to be young during the time that it was created. So I was DJing before the term hip hop existed. So when it started, like, I'm just there. It's a part of it. It just changes. You know what I mean? You change with it.
This man just said he was DJing before the term hip hop.
Well, I was DJing since 75. So, crazy. You know, the hip hop comes, the words come around 76, 77, you know.
Hey, yo, Tony, this is, and I want to say this because, you know, I'm going to give you your flowers throughout this interview because you know how I feel about you. But, you know, I learned.
I appreciate it.
I learned the importance of social currency from you. And I'm going to go to 92 immediately. I'm fresh out of jail. My cousin's telling me to come to Atlanta, to come to Freaknik. Fast forward to the fall of 92. I'm in my bag. I'm doing things. Me and my boy Blue are throwing parties. My whole crew's with me. We take over the club that we were promoting. We start this funk clinic night. And I was like, yo, I got this New York DJ named Clark Kent. Like, I got to meet this guy. See, for me, and I don't think if you knew how methodical I was as a youth, I was such an intuitive person. I would try to align myself with the GOATs. Like, I would hear your name, because, you know, New York was heavy with Atlanta. And they'd be like, yo,
Sure.
Clark Kent, Brooklyn. Oh, no, work, Panamanian, yo, he's, you know, all this, right? So I booked you. My 2020 family and I booked you, and I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, listening to this interview, after I booked him one time, literally probably 2 months later, he had me on the road. He came. I mean, he literally saw me, saw something in me, and was like, "Yo, we out." I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" I got footage of DJ Clark Kent the night Biggie died, throwing up my crew symbol, faux tray all day. Like, we became inseparable.
Yeah, for sure. I think the things that I'm attracted to, and the things that I think I can work well with are things that actually have real energy. And the night I met you, it was, oh no, his energy's right. And then I heard you on the mic, and I was like, no, but the way he put the party together was right. And then I'm watching everything go down, and I'm going, I like this guy. If I ever needed someone to speak on a mic, I'm gonna go get Kenny. And then your energy, like, you have to understand, like, the taking you on a road part, that damn near wasn't even like I had to try to do it. Like, we were already within the space of 2 months, we was family.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I'm not gonna turn away from what's right around me to go find someone else to figure it out. If I know that you good over here, I'm gonna bring you with me. Like, yo, let's go do this. You're gonna get to go back home, but we're gonna go on the road and we're gonna do this. And wherever we go, everybody's gonna go, who's your man? Oh, that's Kenny Burns. That's my
Yo,
that's
I
little bro.
I want to say this. I want to say this, Tony Rome.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't just take me on the road to some random club shit.
Oh,
you
no, we went on the road. House. Yeah.
When Shaq was on the Orlando Magic, him and Dennis Scott used to do parties every 2 weeks. Clark
Heroes.
You know what I'm saying?
Heroes. That's when Nasty and Khaled and all of them was our opening DJs.
Yo, and on top of that, Tony, you was taking me to like the awards, like New Music Seminar with Clark Kent. We got a legendary story about that, but let me slow down.
Yes, we don't need that story.
Let me slow. No, we're going to talk about it on the Kenny Burns show today. But no, the crazy part is I meet you in '92. We are brothers. Like 2 months later, I'm flying. You're taking me places. You're showing me things I never saw. And then in 1996, I had some probation issues, and I had to leave Atlanta and go to DC. And Clark calls me, y'all. He literally calls me, and he's like, no, hold on. Before I get to the story. This chain I'm wearing, the only reason I was able to get the jacket and the chain is because of Clark Kent.
Oh,
the original Rockefeller crew, there was no chain. It was a jacket. It was a jacket. It was a varsity jacket that had Big Head Kenny on it. I think April Love stole my jacket. April Love, if you have my fucking jacket, you better find my jacket. But Clark Kent introduced me. He said to me, ladies and gentlemen, you need to hear this. He said, yo, I know this kid I'm producing, because y'all don't realize that Clark Kent has, you know, a #2 Billboard smash with Loverboy with Mariah Carey. He did Players Anthem.
I think that went #1. Loverboy went #1.
Did it go #1?
I think it went #1.
Okay, forgive me. But he has hits. And he also was quick in defining who would be next. Clark would jump out there on the limb for people like he did for me. And he introduced me to Damon Dash, Biggs, Emery, because Emery hadn't even went to jail yet, and Hove. And I will never forget it, because this leads me back to the story in '96. Clark Kent said, I got this kid out of Brooklyn. I need you to, you know, bring him to Atlanta, because he has this. What? I'm going to bring you to New York. We're going to go to Mad Wednesdays, Maria Davis's Mad Wednesdays, and you got to hear this kid. So I'm in there. So mind you, before we go there, we're at D&D Studio. They're making Reasonable Doubt. We're going all over the place. He's introduced. Then we go to the thing, and I'm like, yo, these are the thoroughest Brooklyn dudes I've ever met besides Clark. Like, I'm like, the way they moved was on another level. And I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. I'm like, Clark, who are these motherfuckers? Like, he's like, yo. Well, what did you say when I asked you that?
When you asked me what?
Like, who are these motherfuckers? You took me, you fish out of water. You took me from
Yeah.
Atlanta to introduce, and I'm at Jay-Z's 560 State Street with Black Lacquer
Right.
Furniture. We were joning on them because Wendell had the same furniture in his loft. But who are these guys? How did you paint the picture for me about Jay-Z and what he would be? Because you painted a picture.
Yeah. Well, I told you I remember it clearly because you just was giving me such a side eye. I was like, dog, he's the best MC ever. And you was looking at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, trust me, he's the best MC ever. And it's going to be a problem when it goes down. And you want to be around this. So just bring him down there. Let us do a show. We come down there. We've got the freshest of the freshest of the freshest on. And he's looking at me like, where'd you get this dude from? And I'm like, just trust me, it's gonna go down. And I mean, basically, it was history from there because you used to be up in New York with me so much that you got to be around it like all the time.
All
You know
the
what I mean?
time.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, for me, I wasn't framing culture at that time. You were framing culture. Like, and one of the gifts besides social currency I got from you is how to frame culture. And we both really learned more about that from Dre.
Yeah.
But, you were the plug before the plug. Like, I don't think people really realize how many relationships you put together, how many artists you deemed that and became that.
Yeah. I learned young that a DJ should be able to hear what's gonna be right before it happens. So, yo, this dog, you killing me.
Yo,
But
facts, B. Facts.
so facts be okay. So I would search for the talent and I would try to find or hear new records or new artists that were special, and I would, if the energy was right, I would speak on it. So I didn't want to see great talent get overlooked. So when I spoke on it, I spoke on it from a place of the passion that I felt for what I found. So finding and working with Jay was because of how great I thought he was. Working with Big was because of how great I thought he was. I mean, Mariah Carey, like, she's great. Why wouldn't you, if you love great things, why wouldn't you want to work with greatness? And
I think you inspired Mariah too, because after you, or right around the time of you, she started working with DJs. Like, DJs became
a lot
one of
more
her
DJs became,
signatures.
yeah. And the reason why is because, at that point she had started going more to clubs and she started seeing more of the energy of the way records would work inside of a club. So working with DJs almost became like, oh, I get it. They understand.
Right.
And hopefully we do understand,
Yeah, no, listen, DJs are the cornerstone of hip hop, and they are the temperature takers for the party, for the good time, for the moment. But I don't want to, I'd be remiss if I don't stay in the 90s in that little section for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, when Clark Kent first brought me to New York, he had a room ×2 full of shoes, right? And back then I'm like a fucking 10 I'm thinking I'm a 10, or I'm 11 now, so I had to be like a 10.
He was like a 10 or a 10 and a half.
Yeah, so I'm like, yo, what size you wear? He was like a fucking whatever. And I'm like, fuck, I go in this room, bro. Now, mind you, I'm looking at his feet game from just hanging out with him. Before I got to go to the crib, I'm traveling with this guy. He didn't wear the same pair of tennis shoes. And I'm like,
No.
What are you doing? Like, where, how, and what? I go to the crib. Yo, listen to me. I'm not saying, like, this is no cap, as the youngins would say. This motherfucker had 4 pair of each shoe. No cap. 4 pair. And he would have, and it wasn't structured then either, Tony.
No, it's still not structured. Just trust me. It's still not structured.
He had records and shoes and
that's it. Just
jerseys.
Records and sneakers.
I'm like, what is this?
It was about being fresh. It's always gonna be about that. So when I was young, all I cared about was records and being fresh. Because the hood noticed the fresh and the records took care of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like if I
To
did
this
not,
day.
yeah, if I don't play, I'm what is my contribution? I would have to figure out something else. You know what I'm saying? But so the good part is the music don't fail me, so I keep rocking.
Yo, one thing you used to tell me back then too, bro, is that you weren't going to let happen to you what they did to your OGs and big brothers. And I
Hmm.
look at you, you know, and you're as relevant as you've ever been. Every shoe company in the world adheres to your advice on shoes. I mean, it's disrespectful the way you don't pay for shoes. Um, and you
Oh, wow,
and you
wait,
and
come
you
on. Come on. If a rapper puts an album out tomorrow, the brand starts sending them shoes. I've been putting work in for
you
my whole life.
deserve it.
So okay, so don't say that then.
You're the Obama of sneakers, bro.
Nah, I'm just a guy who really likes to be fresh, man.
No, you do. But I'm saying that to say, like,
But
you you
Kenny, don't do that though, because
what?
you've been on shopping trips with me,
Oh, no question.
and where we walk inside of malls and just go crazy
It's
from
nuts.
state to state to state. Like, so don't do that.
Every I'm gonna say this in public. Everything that Clark, gave me monetarily on the road was to keep up with him shopping. So every time we travel, he paid me in cash.
And we spend everything.
It'd be gone.
Yeah, we did. We were doing a lot, and um, I mean that goes to what I'm about. If you with me, like, and we're all working, and we all gonna have a good time. Like, I'm not gonna leave anyone to the side. If we're all together, we're all gonna have fun. We're all gonna shop. We're all gonna be fresh. Like, imagine if you walk up to the party and we're all going in there to do the same thing, and I'm the only one that's fresh, then I look crazy for
Yeah.
not making sure. And then what are these dudes doing with me? And why am I just carrying them if they can't do something? If they
Yeah.
can, if you're going to be around, do something. I don't mind paying anybody who's around me to do something. So I paid everybody around me for something, not just to hang, because I didn't have hangers on. Everybody who was with me got paid to do something, and we had fun. If I get a bottle of champagne, everybody gets a bottle of champagne.
Yo,
We
I'm
went up.
not gonna front. Clark went through a phase where he wasn't drinking, but them bottles kept coming. You
That's
hear
right.
me?
That's right.
We
Because
when
that's just what we were like.
Yeah, for sure. How is it like looking at the past 3 decades,
Mm.
you know, seeing the relevancy you still have, but seeing the importance of what you know being the value? Because I think like we don't hear Cool Herc, we don't hear Grant, we don't hear the old school really speaking like you guys do, or like now I'm beginning to.
Mm.
How important is that to know that that information is our history books or our artifacts?
Well, okay. I think of all cultures, hip hop is the one culture that for a long time did not cultivate itself. So you'll have a guy who's super instrumental to the game, but then the new kids will come along and he won't say to the new kid, look, let me just make sure you do it right, because maybe they're looking at it like we don't like the way you did it. But you got to understand, like, when we started the rap thing, our parents didn't like it, and it worked for us. So you don't look at the young kid and shun them. You look at the young kid and understand them. And you don't have to like it, but you should understand it. And if you can, then and you can if you can, you'll respect them. And if you
Right.
respect them, then he'll appreciate some game from you. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these kids will not hear game from someone that they don't respect. But the reason why is because the guy didn't respect them in the first place. So why should I listen to this dude who wants to hammer something into my head if he didn't respect me in the first place? I don't want to hear from him. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I took it as, oh, you think I don't understand what you're talking about on your rap records. I do, and I get it, and I like it. And I think because I'm a DJ, it feels different for me. So I am an energy based DJ. I don't
Right.
just throw records on. I play from energy. So I look at these records like, I might not like the way you rap, but the energy on the record's good. So I can figure out how to use it properly. And again, not everything is for me, but if you treat it and respect it properly, then it works out. So I treat these younger kids with respect. and I get to what they're doing so I can keep passing them some game. And then maybe one day they'll hear the game and say, oh, let me make my record a little bit better because this guy is still here understanding what I'm talking about. Maybe it'll work out. So if you don't cultivate the culture, then the kid's gonna run with it and do what they feel, and the older guys are just gonna get thrown away.
Yeah, listen, man, they will rewrite your history if you let them.
For sure.
But as long as I'm around, you will never, ever, 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 you know that. But my thing is this: there's another Brooklyn rapper. His name is 6ix9ine. He's from Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a 20-something, and to your point of an OG not wrapping their arms around him and giving him the right information, he clearly, you know, went left and lost his mind, right? And to this 20-something I'm talking to, I'm like, well, you know, he glorified gang culture. He was around. I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't with the shits. It wasn't like he got some information, you know what I'm saying? And he was with the shits. He was putting hits on people. I want to know your opinion. I want to know your opinion, not on 6ix9ine, but to your point, like this 20-something believed that it's the OG's fault. And I'm like, how is it the OG's fault? Like, you made a decision. You got in trouble, then you decide to go against the things you glorified. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that's a lot of the youth culture's thought process, and that's clearly not how we were raised.
Okay. In all fairness, just to be fair, between the 80s and the 90s, there was a 10-year gap of our OGs going to jail. And they went away for a long time. So those OGs missed 2 generations. They missed 5 years younger and then 10 years younger to pass some game down to. So now you got a kid. I'm 30. I'm looking at a kid who's 20. If I'm trying to tell that kid who's 20-something, he's looking at me like I'm old. So he doesn't want to hear it. So the way that they move is different. So how am I, as a grown man, trying to tell a kid, yo, you don't snitch on your mans, or you don't do this, or you don't do that? He's looking at me like, who are you?
Right.
And that's because the streets lost 10 years of OGs. That means 2 whole generations. Because if you think about it, I'm maybe, what am I, like 5 or 7 years older than you?
Yeah.
Right? You heard me. Right? You heard me. Imagine if I'm not there, you don't hear me. And then all of a sudden I come out of nowhere and I'm trying to tell you what to do. 15 years later, you're looking at me like, yo, you bugging. So in all fairness, with the 10-year gap of OGs that's gone, we have to understand some shit might not be the same, and it might not work out the same. And because of that, not give them a pass, but be able to understand how this shit might happen.
Wow. Yeah, I want to take you guys back. I forgot a story that I fucked up on the timeline. Forgive me. But it's the last year of the New Music Seminar in New York City. Big shout out to the mayor, by the way. He's on the feed, Clark. He said, "What up?"
That's my brother.
It was last year at the New Music Seminar. Some things that happened in Atlanta, and
really,
some people thought they could leave my city without taking care of their bill. So me and Clark can attest to this or not. I don't know, Clark. If I'm not telling the truth, please call me out. I called Clark. I'm like, yo, me, Slick, and Low, we coming to New York. He's like, for what? I'm like, New Music Seminar, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and I got to go get my money from Dude. So he's like, all right, cool. When are you coming? Right. So we burned up 85 to 95, whatever it was, to get to you. And Slick had a 3-piece. He had some 3-piece on a Lexus SC, whatever it was, right?
Yes, he did.
So we roll around New York like we want every bit of smoke. I'm light skinned and wild. My man's from Detroit. He got 1800 whatever. Leo is ready for whatever, right? So I go to Clark. I'm like, yo, Clark, where's your man?
No,
like,
and y'all all are my little brothers.
All of
them. So I look crazy.
Right. I'm not mentioning no names. So I'm like, yo, where's your man? like, I need to go holler at your man. And, you know, I'm not in the, you know, I respected him, looked up to him, whatever at the time. And I'm like, yo, I need to find your man. So we found out where he was, some club on the Manhattan side of the Queensbridge. So long story short, Clark driving the fucking, matter of fact, I thought you blew every tire when we left there, that thing you did. But so we go to the club. So I'm, you know, nobody knows what I'm gonna do because I'm a firecracker. Like, it was subject for whatever in those days for me. And long story short, I get to woofing and talking and whooping, and we going back and forth. And all I remember is somebody telling me they had so much money they could have me missing. And that was the trigger. And so I wanted all the smoke. I'm at everybody. Clark's trying to get me out of there. Next day, it got resolved. But, you know, I want to thank you for that, by the way, because we were 3 individuals in New York City. Yeah. Not really as
understanding. You know, really understanding the protocol.
Not really understanding the protocol.
But think about this. If you looked at me and didn't look at me like, okay, maybe what he's saying might be true because he could be what would be considered an OG to me. If you didn't look at me that way, you would have went off. Because if I didn't say what I said, like, yo, this ain't it. We can't do this here. We gotta go. If I didn't say that, you would have went off.
Yeah.
But now imagine you trying to say that to a young 6'9". He's looking at you like, you can't tell me nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I like how you brought that. You're always trying to teach me something. That's why I always give you the Barack Obama. But I'm going to tell you this, though, and I'm going to tell you about social currency. If I did not roll with you as much as I did at that time, if I did not meet half of those people in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, in the party, so it could have went a lot different, man. So I've always wanted to thank you for that because that could have got tragic.
Well, the best thank you for me from you would you to continue to be great and continue to be a great father and a great husband. And you would have thanked me enough. Just do the right thing. If you do the right thing, man, because we all come from doing the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? So once you can spin it, switch it, and be able to do the right thing and then be able to give the game on to someone else and maybe uplift or help someone else, like that's what it's about. You know what I mean? That's what it's really about. And it's good if on your way you can learn that.
Yeah. And Clark, not many people get to be a part of the biggest dynasties in the history of rap music. You were a part of the Bad Boy dynasty and you were part of the Rockefeller dynasty. You know, Pac and Big, man, like, I don't think people really understand the dynamic of that friendship initially, because even when they were friends, they were stirring up shit, you know, before they became enemies. And then obviously the tragic demise of both of them. What was that era like for you, and how behind the scenes were you moving pieces? Because I know a few of those stories.
Well, the truth is they never really had a beef. So there wasn't like no pieces to move. It was you watched dude turn into somebody else, get with another group of people, and then try to start acting different. And when something happened to him, he tried to blame it so that he would shift the way it looked, but it wasn't like that. So, you know, he never really had beef with him. That's why he never really like wilded out on him when he was on radio or on TV or in interviews. He was just like, I don't know why he's talking like that, because we really didn't know why he was talking like that. Right. You know, so that's why when he was in Cali, he didn't necessarily feel too threatened because he knows, like, dog, we never really had a beef, and you know, what happened to son, but like we don't think it's really that serious, you know?
Right. But when we were at the Peterson Museum the night Biggie died, it was one of the best nights for the music industry at that time because of Biggie being in LA.
Right.
You had
the
a
records
number
dropping.
of hit.
It was crazy,
You had a number of hit records from multiple friends of ours. We were in there, you know, Dom Perignon to the face, no glasses. We were, you know, you weren't rocking that night, but we were. I mean, obviously went there together. But I got on the mic with Ace or whoever was DJing,
But think about how crazy that is, though, right? Like I showed this to somebody. That's a party we would have done.
Oh, no question.
And my mic guy is on the mic with another DJ, right? That's a party where I bought at least 18 bottles of champagne and did not drink one. I didn't drink
Facts.
any, and I was drinking then. But
Facts.
what was going through the mind that says don't drink? And then I sit down with Andre and Big and Puff at the table, and Big says, "You got to come with me to England, because we got to go promote the album." And I had just started working with Andre, and I'm like, "Dog, I can't go. Like I'm over here at Motown doing this." And he goes, I turn to Andre. I'm like, he wants me to go to London with him. And Andre says, "Yo, nigga, you go. Because if y'all hot, we hot." You know, that was Andre. If you hot, we all hot. And he was like, "Yeah, you go." And I was like, "All right, big, we gonna go." And then everything else happened from that point. But it was right before we were leaving.
Oh,
Andre's like, "Yeah, you can go." I mean, it's crazy. That
that's
that
crazy.
all of those things that happened in that party, it's almost like it was like, you see how weird this is? You see how strange this seems? Like there's video of me dancing around with bottles of champagne in my hand, not drinking it, passing it away. And I'm just like, that's not even me, because I'm drinking more than everybody. Right or wrong. But that was
Yeah,
one of
no,
them
that
nights, man. It was crazy.
that was and that's back up to 96. I had my
Hmm.
issues where I had to go and you introduced me to Andre Harrell.
Yeah.
You know, it's so crazy because when you just did this shit, you can't tell an Andre Harrell story in a heightened moment without talking
No.
like you just, oh nigga, this shit is crazy. Nigga, oh
Yeah,
nigga, if
exactly.
you had
That's Andre. That's
so
Andre.
so when I and God rested there, and I was
Yeah.
definitely our big brother, but I'll never forget I had this issue. Clark called me, he's like, yo, I gotta get you with Motown, Andre's paying black executives white executive salaries.
Yeah.
This is what Clark Kent called me and said, y'all. And I was like, word? I was like, what you mean? He's like, you probably come. I think you were VP, like real VP,
Yeah,
not
I
like.
was executive vice president. Yeah.
So he executive vice president. He's paying me X. I was like, what? I was like, I'm in. But Clark, I gotta go to DC because I got some legal shit. But if he comes through there, I can't leave right away. But if he comes through there, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, nigga, he's doing the Motown review, and we
The
coming down there and throw
Motown
him a
review.
party.
Yeah.
He was like, throw him a party. I was like, done. So I put together a party. I said, Clark, what does this man like? You know, he liked the what you call him, light skin butter wavies, and he loves champagne. I was like, word? I was like, all right, bet. Swear to God. I call Clark. He tells me the day. I put a party together in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Webber was playing for the Bullets. Jawan Howard and Rasheed Wallace all playing for the
Mm-hmm.
Bullets. The Bullets.
The Bullets, not the
96.
Wizards.
Yeah. So long story short, I put the party together. I asked one of my butter wavy friends to have a seat with him when he came in. So I come with Clark maybe 30 minutes later. We walk up to the table. Clark's about to introduce me. I ain't have to. I swear to y'all, listen to what I'm saying. No, do the research when you're approaching someone that you want to be in business with. And Clark had given me all the. So I walked in. He's like, "Oh shit, this nigga Clark Kent brought this nigga. Oh shit!" And I'm like, he's excited. Like he's like, "This shit is palace." And he was talking about the part, but that's how Andre talks when he's excited.
Right.
So Clark is like, "Yo, hold on, let him finish, because I'm ready. I'm ready to get in the motherfucking double dutch." He's like, let him finish. And he was like, "What do you do, nigga?" This nigga Clark nudged me up. Like, you ever had, like, you been trying to talk to somebody and nigga push you up, so you got to be in it. Clark hit me with I was like, yeah, I make it happen. And I looked back at Clark. He looked at me. He was like, I see, nigga. This shit is flat, nigga. And I was like, and I would love to come join the team at Motown. And nigga, Monday morning, I had a job making $60,000 a year. I went from 60 to 80 to 120 in a year and a half.
You my
And
brother. That's
Clark
why.
Kent put
Because
me
you my
on. And
brother.
this is when I was his official hype man, and he would take me everywhere.
You see that
This,
Versace? Do you see that Versace?
yeah, that's Versace. Oh, Clark had the ill Versace shirt. Then this is when I'm fully ingrained and accepted by the Uptown crew.
The white party.
And we are now Motown, and it's on like popcorn. So that was one of the greatest times of my life, Tony.
Well, it was one of the probably the best times in your life, but it was meant for it to be for you. You know, you were you were the energy. You know what I'm saying? And energy needs to be unleashed and let to go crazy and do whatever. And you were integral in the parts that you had to play in the game, man.
Thank you.
I mean, come on, Andre Harrell. The terms grown and sexy is because of Andre Harrell. The term ghetto fabulous is because of Andre Harrell. You were all of those things. Think about
And
it. We were throwing parties in Atlanta where everybody had to wear like, everybody had to be dressed up, but we was wearing custom made Versace suits. Like, what were we doing?
Hold
What were
on,
we doing?
hold on. This is a fact, and I gotta get back to Andre Harrell about our Motown flavors thing, but I'm gonna go back for 2 seconds because you mentioned it. So Clark Kent introduces me to Jay-Z and Dame Dash. Swear on everything. I'm from Washington, D.C. When I tell you the label game was our game, you can ask Clark. You can ask Clark. I used to come so fresh around these dudes. They used to be like, yo, what's G and Franco Ferre? What's that iceberg shit? Promise to God. And I'll never forget. Jay-Z one night asked me about Gianfranco. No, I'm sorry. I had iceberg something on, and I had those. We were shopping when I got them. The Gucci shotgun joints with the yellow lenses with the gold.
Yes.
He was like, yo, I was like, it's Gucci. You go, and I promise you, there's a picture right now. Al Capone's on Peachtree.
Mm-hmm.
It's me, Dame. Clark's in the middle with y'all seen his pictures on the internet. Clark is in the middle like he's a Svengali, which he was. Jay's behind him. I'm in all black Versace. Versace head to toe. And Dame and them had on them big ass jeans and them ostrich boots. I got them niggas out them ostrich boots. Don't lie. Damon, Jay-Z, don't lie. I got you out them ostrich snakeskin boots.
But they was ostrich though.
No, I know. But you
they
know,
was
I was
ostrich.
But
they
that
was
was
ostrich though.
But I love how
but if you remember, they were wearing that kind of stuff, and I was wearing Versace shoes and Caesar Paciotis and around them. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
so I'm like ahead of them.
Your Caesar game was nuts, and I thought they was Bally's. You're like, nah, these are Caesar Bacardi, whatever they was. Okay, famous campaign you and I had together. Famous campaign
flavors.
In New York City. It was Olympic time, ladies and gentlemen. It was 1996. And we took over New York City. Motown was everywhere. So I'm in the meeting and everything, even though Clark was senior doing him in the business, I would go to him and be like, yo, Tony, I got this idea. Yo, I want to get an ice cream truck. And me and you, we gonna do a mixtape and we gonna get his shit out like Mike and Ike's in the hood. And he'd be like, all right, take that to Dre. I swear to God, my first presentation in front of the entire staff at Motown, and to mind you, Andre Harrell's a genius because I didn't have, when I tell you creative, you had the resources to bring your ideas to fruition. I came in there already, had printed up shirts. Clark Kent and I did the mixtape already. I had the shit wrapped. It looked like a Mike and Ike box. When I tell you he lost his mind, yo, he took me out of the meeting and left. We went to fucking the Reebok gym, and he just wanted to pick. After that, Clark, it was over. I could do whatever I wanted. And he would start telling me I was his next blah, 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 blah. And it was all because of you. Well,
it's because I could see what you was going to do. I could see the energy coming from you. I could see. You have to understand, like I can go back to the first party. I just looked around like this shit is done too well. You know what I'm saying? And who? Okay, it's him. It's this dude. And oh wait, and Leo and Sabe and Issa and all of y'all are 2620 and y'all are like little brothers. Let's see if this could work out. And then shit, how many parties I did for you after that? And it didn't even seem like I was doing a party. It seemed like I was one of y'all. We were just I was going down there more to hang out than I was to DJ. Parties one night. I was there for 5 days later. Like, I'm not there for the party. I'm there because as a crew, we were hanging out. And I burnt down every single one of them motherfucking parties.
No question. Clark,
I just had to throw that out there.
No, listen, and I'm going to say this in front of the world. I have rocked with many. I have joined forces with another brother of ours, D-Nice, because we were getting booked at every event together. We decided, but you are my number one favorite DJ of all time. Not just because of the human you are, but I went to music school with you, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know, I'm talking about then you had a young go-go. All I would play was go-go and Big and Jay and some West Coast. I wasn't bumping, you know what I'm saying? You put me on to the way music was supposed to flow, bro.
Yeah.
And it
It's
opened
supposed to
up my
tell a
mind.
story. If you're not telling a story musically, then just put the turntables down. You know, just don't do it. There's room
And
for real ones.
I get a lot of credit for a lot of things, right?
Yes,
But
sir.
I will say one of the first DJs, maybe for my generation, I should deserve the credit because I learned it from you. But you were playing records that had nothing to do with the artists in the club. I even remember
Oh
you
yeah.
playing some fucking Hector fucking Yamin and that motherfucker. We be in that motherfucker like, and it was
Yeah.
moods. It was, I
Yeah.
mean, even when you think about like, you know, you'll never find you like you played that in the club one time. Like, wait,
As you should. As you
no, my
should.
nigga,
It's
but they wasn't doing that.
yeah, but the music had energy and I was playing before rap records, so I had to play the music that built the energy that everything we are is built off of. And if a record has good soul to it, you can play it. If a record has a energy or a feeling to it, that's why I could play Hector Lavoe in a party, because if you bring it in properly, it can rock out properly. You know what I'm saying? It's about how you play those records, and I believe that if you play the records like you care, then the people who are listening will care. So you got to take them on a journey, man. Like, let that story happen through them hands.
Yo, and I did it, you know what I'm saying, because I learned it from you. And when I would play slow songs in the middle of the turn up, they'd be like,
Oh no,
but
you
all the
got to.
girls be like this, and then they'd be like, oh, I get it, I'm with it. But I learned that from you. Like, you used to, and I'd be on
That's a
the mic,
blessing.
and I want to say this. Clark and I were so in tune. I started out hosting next to him in the booth. 2-3 months later, I'd be on the speaker on the other side. He wouldn't tell me when he was dropping a record. He wouldn't say, but we were so, and people wonder why, like, my timing is
Right.
so impeccable and the way that I use my words. It's because I was so spiritually connected to what you were playing
Right.
and how you would, it got to, and then another thing, the reason why Clark will take my opinion in the club, or D-Nice will take my opinion in the club, is because I learned from them. It wasn't like I'm coming in saying, play Gooba Gabba.
Right.
And it's not right. If I, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right.
so, but I don't know. I praise you for that.
I think if I've given you this many years, then you should be able to look at me and go, hey, if we play this, you know what I'm saying? And if I can't listen to that, then why did I have you with me in the first place if I
All
wasn't
those years.
expecting you to learn something from it? So that's the reason why when we play together, you can be at the front door. It's because you can feel energetically what's gonna happen next. So we worked out properly.
Yeah, man. No, you listen, God sent, bro. And that's why, you know, I try to tell my mentees and teach my mentees. You know, I was just actually talking about, and I want to get your perspective on this. I was just talking to one of my mentees, Jabbar Cash. You met Jabbar. He's one of the promoters down here. He's doing this thing.
I do. I know
And
who Jabbar Cash is. Yeah.
yeah, he's from Brooklyn too. So,
Yeah.
you know, we were talking, and he was, you know, we were joking because his man, like, you know, was the curfew just happened this weekend, and I was like, yo, like, are you good? Because I know they, you know, they back in, the clubs have opened back up. They have guidelines. I know, but they have guidelines, and this is their business. So as long as they're safe, and I'm always daily, every 2 days, checking on them just because I want them good. Like, you straight? Is it there? So long story short, he was telling me about his mentee. He's 30 now, so he has a young and a 20-something. You know what I'm talking
Right.
about? So he's like telling me, you know, Kenny, man, he just wild. He went and he cut his hand, and when they broke in the Gucci, this, that, and the third. They cut his hand, and you know, he said, and after I bought this purse from him, I was talking to him. Get that?
I heard that.
He's like, after I got the purse, I was trying to tell him, like, yo, like, you realize, like, you know what I'm saying, like, da-da-da. But I think, you know, and I guess my point is like, you know, the connection and energy has to match too.
For sure.
And what I try to teach my youngins is like, you know, you're going to give your all because that's what you should do. I think you should give your all face value as soon as you meet somebody. And if they disappoint you, then you backtrack.
Right.
And what I try to teach my youngins is like, look, go in wholeheartedly. But at some point, if they're not listening to you and they continue to, it's cool. you had some game. You chose to do you, and I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
it moving. But you
You
never left your
you
mentees.
can't you can't uh you can't just keep everybody. You know what I'm saying? Some people are there for seasons. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully what they get in the season helps them grow. But I do want to say one thing. Somebody on there asked, why do I always wear the 7 hat? Now, if you know anything about the number 7, you would know that that is God's number. So I wear this God's number.
And
Not
that's God's
not for
favorite DJ.
not even because of that, but I wear it because I believe in God so heavy that I will give his number on my hat anytime. But
Yeah.
you know, some people you can't be around all the time, and some people you can, and the ones you can you do. Like, but I, me and you, right? We were inseparable on the road for, let's say, 10 years,
A decade strong.
and then you had to have a family. I had to have a family. Things had to happen. Can I go on the road with you all the time? No. But when we go on the road, it's like we were on the road yesterday.
Word.
Because the energy, what you learned, you don't forget. You know I'm gonna play with energy. You play with the same, you rock with the same energy because you understand where you got it from. And we're right together. So I don't expect you to be good with every DJ. But if a DJ comes from me somehow, like Derek is one of my guys, you should be able to murder shit with Derek. If I put you on with Stretch, you should be able to murder shit. Why? Because these is my guys.
Yeah, and I've made a lot of DJs,
Hmm.
since you taught me, right? And, it's amazing. I've learned to play the records myself. Like, what a lot of people don't know, like, you were teaching me early, like, if I got to go to the bathroom, you got to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, if this
Yeah.
record is ended, and so for me, like what a lot of people don't know is like all of my DJs that are mentors to like that I mentor, Baby You, Infamous,
Hmm.
like all of my Quicksilver, like all of my youngins, like I I could play a set. And 9 times out of 10, when y'all hear us go left, you were Hector Lavoe, I am motherfucking Elvis Crespo. And you were, you know what I'm saying, fucking Nina
Right.
Simone, and I'm fucking Sade. Like, I'm just saying, but I will take these moments musically
For
because
sure.
of, your offering to me, bro. I'm telling you. And it's magical because, I pride myself on one, giving a fuck, and you always did. The one thing I learned, bro, you
Yeah.
cared. Like, it was not like
Yeah.
the rest of these industry niggas, it was selfless. Your offering
Yeah.
was selfless. It was
Hmm.
no, we never even had I don't even know if we ever had an argument. No,
Nah.
now that I sit here and think about it, I don't even, and we rocked, like when we were 10 years straight, I don't think we had an argument.
Well, why should we?
No, I'm hip, but I'm just trying, I want to remember one argument. Maybe I got to ask somebody fucking around us.
I
Did
don't
we
know.
have one argument?
Nah, I think maybe if anything, we might have had a disagreement or a misunderstanding and then realized we were talking about the same shit.
Okay.
Because you have to understand, we became one with each other.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the work anymore. It was this guy is my brother. If it happens to him, it happens to me. If my brother's in trouble, so am I.
I like
That is
that.
my motto. I live by that. If my brother is in trouble, so am I. So if it's happening to you, it's happening to me. And that's the way that we rock out. Like that's why I can call you, ask you about your family. If there's an issue, you say something to me, and I'm gonna say something back to you that should help you. And if I don't, then I'm a piece of shit. Why are we brothers for if I'm not gonna treat you the same way?
Yeah, man, you're a special cloth, man. Before we go, I just would love for you to share some of the game for the youngins coming up because I feel like, I looked at my statistics on Instagram,
Hmm.
um, and 25 to 34 is like 38% of my following, and I adore that because I just feel like people look, they look for information, man. And you got a lot of information, so if you could tell someone coming up, um, you know, just a few gems, man, on how to stay in play because you're a master at it.
Um, I think do not discount the younger generation. And if you don't discount the younger generation, then you could play a party for a 22-year-old. Because I play parties for 22-year-olds. I'm old enough to be their fathers. But I can play parties for 22-year-olds because I don't discount the younger generation. And even though it sounds cliche that, the children are the future, they literally are the future. So you can't discount the kid. So I'm listening. I am paying attention. I want to know what you like. I want to know what you don't like. I want to try to be able to tell you that them sneakers is not that hot. These are better. You could pick up on the game. You could not. And if you got something to tell me, tell it to me. Tell me why them shits is fire so that I understand what you're thinking. Like, I don't want to discount the youth. And I think they should, if they can, really hear the ones who came before them, because 99.99999% of the time, they actually do know something that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, don't discount the youth. I would never discount the youth, man. Like not when we got young ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
And
for sure.
like mines think that I'm the coolest motherfucker in the world. I be looking at them like, really? Bet. You know what I'm saying? But I also think I get a lot of everything that's happening from them. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I understand, I listen, I talk to them, we go back and forth. Like, you gotta treat the youth like they're people, not like they're kids. They gotta be treated like they're people so that you can get something and give something and they'll actually care about what you're saying.
Yeah, man. And times like this, man, that's more relevant than ever. I mean, if you're looking at
Yeah.
the past,
Yeah.
week, man, and I am, I'm not an activist. I mean, I've had people telling me I should go in politics. What I am is a product of my environment, and I will never forget that
Right.
environment, my people,
Right.
where I come from. And
For
I just
sure.
feel like, this weekend, man, I was having, and I got to get your take on this before I let you go, but my heart was heavy because I was feeling like, as a contributor to culture, I mean, in a major way, I feel like I have the right to hold my peers accountable. And,
Absolutely.
there was a specific thing that happened in Atlanta this weekend where, there were statements from celebrities saying, burn it down everywhere else but Atlanta. And you can't touch Atlanta. Well, no, that's not what you're saying. Like, if I'm talking to my people, I'm talking to everybody. I'm not talking to a fraction of people or a sect of people. I'm talking to my people. And I know, one, we're not equipped for revolution. So all these youngins out here screaming revolution and wanting to go, no, we're not armed for that. Because if you want to talk real revolution, we're not going to burn down our neighborhoods. We're not going to do any of that. We're going to go take care of the banking institutions. We're going to the governors, man. We're going to the White House. We're going to places that immediately affect the status quo. And looking at this weekend had me twisted, bro. Like, I was literally in this joint upset, asking my wife, like, should I say this? Because you know me, I resort back often. And I was like, I wanted to get on some military because you're not listening. The mayor's called a curfew on Saturday. You still outside. That means you're gonna have a mark on your record because you could have just stayed home. So I don't know. I want to know how you feel about that in the youth, because I do love how they're showing up. I just don't like how they're ultimately showing up.
The youth is showing up the way that they showed up when Martin was marching, when Malcolm was marching. They were in their 20s. Those kids were young, and they were showing up because they felt like this shit is affecting me now. Like, when you're 15 and 13 and 12, you're not understanding how serious it is until you get to 20 and that shit go. When it hits you, it hits different. You're like, wait a minute, I don't want to be hit no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't want. Whoa, wait a minute. What are you doing? You crazy? You swinging on me like you bugging, right? And then so the shit starts hitting them differently. So they start reacting differently, and they understand why, like, people are out on the front lines and they want to go join and they want to protest. I think what's making this so different is that they're not alone. You know what I'm saying? It don't look like it looked back in the days when you sprinkled some white folks in the protest. Like, There are some
They
places you
showed
go,
they
there's
showed
some,
up this time.
yeah, and I think the reason why is because there's been about 20 years where you can look at a 15-year-old kid in the hood, and one of his best friends is a white kid. So they don't look at it the same way that we did coming up. They're looking at it like, well, he's my man, like that's my boy right there. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, their friends are riding out with their friends. They're not. I don't even think they don't look at it the same way. So it's different for them. So more white kids are going to come out. More white kids are going to walk the front line. More white kids are going to be mad because they don't want to get lumped in with the bullshit that their parents was doing.
Wait. That's important because I feel, this is how I feel. I feel that the white people are drawing, the white people not with the bullshit, that aren't bigots and racists, are drawing a line in the sand. That is the biggest thing that can happen. Regardless of the police not kneeling and all the shit that happened with Kaepernick, seeing police kneel and hug people. And now, mind you, people going to say police or this or police or that. It was started to, to police slave. That we need law enforcement. Don't get it twisted. We need people to police.
Well, if somebody act like they don't, they a liar. Because somebody run up in their crib and rob their crib, they calling the cops. So they can't act like they don't need police. And they just would really like the police to be fair. And there's so many layers to this thing because, like, with you wanting the police to be fair, how about we get fair with our own people and start respect ourselves amongst ourselves and show love to ourselves? Then these people can't look at you like you're less than. They're looking at you like they don't even like each other. So why should they respect them? No.
You know what, Tony? You know what I'm happy about? I'm happy that the majority of the footage you see obviously is black and white, right? I'm more happy about the looters that are white. You want to know why I'm happy about that? Because we were Friday, what was it? Friday is, well, they started looting Minnesota. You kind of saw black and white. You saw people standing together, protecting black and white. But when they started showing the looting and the stealing, I'm so happy that they showed white people doing it because the narrative was about to quickly change, Tony Rome. They were quickly about to go, and this is what white people do. This is what Donald Trump does. Those bricks don't magically appear on the side of the road. Those, you know what I'm saying? Those people in all black that were writing Black Lives Matter more than black people. That's not, they're agent provocateurs. They're the ones, and I believe Trump and them have something to do with all that because they want white people to be scared.
But you know what though?
But you can't be scared of your own, is what I'm saying.
But that's cool. So I'm not mad if that's what they think they have to do. You know what I'm saying? They have to throw those provocateurs in there. The thing is, if we on our own respect ourselves, then when they come to us, we won't stand to be treated less than. That's all. But
no,
I'm not.
And that's a big deal.
You have to understand. It's extremely hard to get to that point when you've been stripped of everything that you actually are. So I'm not saying we shouldn't have a part to do with it, but racism isn't because of us. You know what I'm saying? Racism happens to us. So they got to get it right. You know what I'm saying?
And I think
in essence, it would probably be cool if we were able to sit back and somebody go, y'all fix that shit because y'all created it, because y'all brought it to us.
I think white people should be made that are not racist and bigots come on the side, but the ones who are racist and bigots, I think they should be made to walk on eggshells every day of their life. I think that life should be so uncomfortable for them that they bow out gracefully and just go back in their caves because that's not America. And another thing, we can't act like this is not our home. This is our home.
We built this. How could we not?
I'm just saying, but people acting like they're going to go against a system that, because the word democracy, right? Like if you think about the true meaning of it, right? It's not It's the laws are reveled in racism and bigotry, but the idea of democracy is an absolute must-have.
Mm-hmm.
It's an absolute must-have. So for us to think that there's any other way but to get the system right, you know what I'm saying? And again, I want to say this as the 22-year-old Kenny Burns. If we burn the whole thing down, we have to be prepared to build it back up. Are we prepared financially, resourcefully to build it back up? I'll answer the question. No.
But I also think we have to know, like, let's just say with the issue. The issue is these police killed this dude. It ain't about the mayor, it ain't about the governor, it's about the courts and the judges and the prosecutors and legislation making sure that they look at it like they killed him. You know what I'm saying? So that it can be approached properly. Because if it's not
call
approached
a murderer
properly,
a murderer.
Let the murderer be a murderer and let him be proven to be a murderer and let him go to jail. All three of them. Because if me and you and Slick and Leo are somewhere and I clap everybody there and y'all are just there and we all ride out together, y'all are going to jail too.
Forever.
Because you aided and abetted. These guys aided and abetted this guy, like they should be gone too. But, you know, hopefully and prayerfully that happens. And I say prayerfully because if it doesn't happen, what they see happening right now, I don't think they prepared for that shit, B. That shit is going to be to the 10th power.
Listen, right now, somewhere, there are terrorists from the States forming, and they're going to start making examples of these people that the law won't. I mean, that's inevitable. Yeah. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to get into this space because I'm starting to itch. But, you know, Clark, I appreciate you so much, man. Like, you know, I created this platform. I love you too.
Kenny, I love you. I love you. I love your wife. I love your kids. I love your mama.
Thank you.
Your mama
I'm meal crazy.
That's my ace. Yeah. And you know I love Casey.
Yeah, for sure. Pregnant.
So Casey having sex?
She's 26, Clark.
No, I will kill her, man. I will kill. No, fuck that. I will kill her. No. Now I know Casey since he was a little girl. Baby. I would kill somebody. Who the fuck did it? Who did it?
Yeah. No, they're together. Everything is good, Clark. I need you to relax. So we'll talk about that offline. But I just want you to know, man, like, you know, your teachings will not go in vain. The time you spent with me, nurturing me and showing me the game the right way, you know, seeing all my rough edges and helping me smooth them out, introducing me to other relationships that became fruitful. You know, you have no idea how you help me and how you're helping me has helped thousands. And I appreciate you, brother. You're necessary forever.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I'm not going to stop being the person that I am ever. I believe if something is around that shit happen, let's just do it. And keep doing the good thing, man. I'm very, very proud of you, man.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you, and I will never stop. I'm finally starting to get to strip of gray.
Yeah, so you see that, right?
Yeah.
You know what that is? You know what this is?
Huh?
This is the time we was at that club and you almost shot old boy.
Okay, it's time to go. Ladies and gentlemen, love Clark Kent for life for me. Follow him and stay down. And obviously, when we're out of this clock, I can't wait to rock with you, brother.
Oh, no, we're getting right back to it, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Love, boy.
Right. Love you, boy. Peace. Yeah, man. I hope y'all receive that energy because, you know, it doesn't get any more genuine than that. It doesn't get any more purposeful because, you know, we are here to share what we know and teach what we know. And that man gave me everything he had and introduced me to people that changed my life. So I love you, Clark. Ladies and gentlemen, follow him this week. We got some amazing guests, man. This shit is unbelievable. I need to be on network television now. Call somebody. All right? I love y'all. Peace.